For 8 years, Michelle Obama's family was under America's microscope. Having stepped away from the White House spotlight, the former First Lady has opened up about her painful miscarriage in an exclusive interview with ABC.
I felt lost and alone, and I felt like I failed because I didn't know how common miscarriages were, because we don't talk about it. We sit in our own pain, thinking that somehow we're broken.
Her daughters, Sasha and Malia, she revealed, were conceived by IVF.
The biological clock is real because egg production is limited, and I realized that as I was 34 and 35, we had to do IVF. I think it's the worst thing that we do to each other as women, not share the truth about our bodies and how they work and how they don't work.
She also speaks candidly about struggles in her marriage and seeking help.
For those young people out there who think that marriage is supposed to be easy, and marriage counseling for us was one of those ways where we learned how to talk out our differences. What I learned about myself was that my happiness was up to me, and I started working out more. I started asking for help, not just from him, but from other people. I stopped feeling guilty.
But in her new memoir, she says she can't stop her feelings about President Trump's birther campaign, which questioned her husband's citizenship. Donald Trump, she writes, with his loud and reckless innuendos, was putting my family's safety at risk, and for this, I'd never forgive him. The president fired back before he left for Paris.
She got paid a lot of money to write a book, and they always insist that you come up with controversial. Well, I'll give you a little controversy back. I'll never forgive him for what he did to our United States military.
There is no love lost after a brutal election.
You don't stoop to their level. No, our motto is, when they go low, we go high.
But America chose another man's message and a very different political universe. Cordelia Lynch, Sky News, Washington.
And it is frustrating to hear some folks say that you've been the beneficiary of privilege, that the color of your skin gives you a head start. That is the reality for far too many hard-working, decent Americans. But right now, the president and his allies are trying to tap into that frustration and distract from his breathtaking failures by giving folks someone to blame other than them. They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. And the one thing this president is really, really good at is using fear and confusion and spreading lies to win. Look, I get it, but I also feel it. As a Black woman who has, like the overwhelming majority of people of color in this nation, done everything in my power to live a life of dignity and service and honesty, the knowledge that any of my fellow Americans is more afraid of me than the chaos we are living through right now, well, that hurts.
Michelle Obama's speech last night where she said that you're in over your head as the overall president.
Yeah, no, she was over her head, and frankly, she should have made the speech live, which she didn't do. She taped it, and it was not only taped, it was taped a long time ago because she had the wrong deaths. She didn't even mention the vice presidential candidate in the speech, and, you know, she gets these fawning reviews. If you gave a real review, it wouldn't be so fawning. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive. We have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for my campaign because of things like we're talking about now, drug prices and drug cuts and transparency with hospitals and doctors that are going to lower bills by 50%, 70%. You're talking about numbers that are incredible. There's a procedure, I won't mention what it is, but there's a procedure where one hospital was charging $2,500, another hospital was charging $32 for the exact same procedure, using the exact same kit, and the people weren't able to go around and even have that option. And it was the exact same. In fact, we did a study, and the one for $32 actually did a better job, okay? How about that? $2,500, $32, and the cheap one did a better job using the exact same stuff. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about numbers that are incredible. No, I thought her speech was very divisive. And frankly, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for Barack Obama. See, we're standing in the White House. I wouldn't be in the White House except for Barack Obama because they did a bad job, Biden and Obama. And if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here. I'd be building buildings someplace and having a good time.
You compared your response to coronavirus to their response to the H1N1?
Well, they got very bad reviews. If you look at the Gallup poll did a review of them. Now, you have to understand, that was a far lesser vicious disease. It was not the same, in the same ballpark. But, yeah, I know. It's also a much lesser disease. But they got very bad reviews. Gallup gave very bad reviews. And by the way, Gallup, at that same time, gave us very, very good reviews for the job we've done. So if you take a look at the Gallup poll from a couple of months ago, we got very good reviews, and they got very bad reviews. They were, I mean, the reviews they got for the handling of swine flu, or H1N1, which Biden calls N1, H1, and I don't even correct him on that. I don't even correct him. I said, well, that's a mistake you can make, but that's what he calls it. He's got it a little mixed up, but that's all right. Take a look at the Gallup poll, and there were others too. They got horrible marks, and that disease is a much lesser problem. Okay.
So let me be as honest and clear as I possibly can. Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head. He cannot meet this moment. He simply cannot be who we need him to be for us. It is what it is. Now, I understand that my message won't be heard by some people. We live in a nation that is deeply divided, and I am a Black woman speaking at the Democratic Convention. But enough of you know me by now. You know that I tell you exactly what I'm feeling. You know I hate politics. But you also know that I care about this nation. You know how much I care about all of our children. So if you take one thing from my words tonight, it is this. If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election.